Welcome to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman, the podcast dedicated to helping you build the business of your dreams and live the life you always hoped for, with valuable and fun tips and info to make your life easier and more fun. And now, here's your host, a man who sprinkles metal shavings on his breakfast cereal just for fun, Jason Silverman.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. I'm your host, Jason Silverman, and I'm thrilled to share some time with you once again today. As you know, I am always on the hunt for interesting as well as super smart real deal guests. And I got to tell you, today's show is a winner. I want to introduce my listeners to somebody who's truly been there and done that. And I'm excited to pick her brain for your benefit today. And quite honestly, for my benefit as well. Now, for the folks who I work with in any of my coaching programs, my mastermind group, or through Powerful Words character development or all-star cheer sites, you know how much I focus on the importance of understanding and continuously developing your marketing, right? Well, the show is going to help us to do just that. So today it's going to be my honor and privilege to share an amazing resource with you. You're going to love today's guest. She's got a ton of valuable info about what I consider to be a super hot topic to help you succeed, as well as a fun way to deliver it. So I want you to strap yourself in. Today's show is going to be a blast. As I'm sure you already know, I'm committed to helping business owners just like you to become more successful, enjoy your career more, and in general make your life significantly more fun. As you know, we only get one trip around this merry-go-round, and we want to make sure it is one hell of a ride. Alrighty, boys and girls, it is now that time. I want you to stop surfing Facebook, put away your phone, your tablet, your dog, your cat, your spouse, your child, your significant other, anything that might possibly distract you from today's show. You're about to get some great and immediately implementable information, and I don't want you to miss even a second. So before we officially get going, I want to give you a little bit of background about our guest today. Heather Havenwood, CEO of Havenwood Worldwide LLC and Chief Sexy Boss, is a serial entrepreneur and is regarded as a top authority on internet marketing, business strategies, and marketing. Since marketing her first online business in 1999, bringing together clients and personal coaches, she's played an active role in the online marketing world since before most even had a home computer. In 2006, she started, developed, and grew an online information marketing publishing company from ground zero to over $1 million in sales in less than 12 months, starting without a list, a product, a name, or an offer. Heather Ann molded her client into a successful guru, now known as an expert in this field. Heather Ann has been named by a few as an icon creator or the wizard behind the curtain. She's instructed, coached, and promoted hundreds of entrepreneurs, leading them down the path to success. She's produced and managed over 350 seminars and events and hosted teleseminars with many top online thought leaders such as Richard Flint, John Alanis, Susan Brayton. You name it, she's done it. So, folks.
There's a lot there. You could stop. I don't like listening to my own resume. Does anyone though? Does anyone listen to their own resume? So thank you for that. That was wonderful.
Absolutely. Heather, welcome. I'm thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
So do me a favor, before we get started, for those who haven't had the opportunity and pleasure of meeting you or hearing you speak, take a second and share your story with our listeners. You know, what are you passionate about? What makes you tick? Who are you?
Oh, thank you for that. I'm self-promoting. This is kind of fun. So one thing I actually like to do is actually teach people how to self-promote. And it is something that we don't normally do is I'm going to talk about myself right now. So actually one of the things I'm really passionate about now is I have a book called Sexy Boss, and I really focus on helping women empower themselves, personal power of tapping into who they are and going out there and creating a business that they love or a life that they love. So that's what I'm like really creating, what I'm up to. But my background's in sales and marketing. I've been an entrepreneur on accident, really, and completely unemployable since about 2001, 2002, when I was first fired. I was actually first fired from my first job when I was like 1994, 1995, and I should have gotten the clue there, but I didn't. I kept going back to more and more jobs and kept getting fired. But then they were like, we love you, Heather, but like you're completely unemployable by us. And I was like, oh, there's this thing called entrepreneurship. I probably should do that. So it was a completely entrepreneurship on accident. I've been an online entrepreneur pretty much since 2001, 2003 with a lot of ups and downs. And I consider myself now where I'm at is what I call, I've gone from bankruptcy to sexy boss and completely unemployable. So that's me in a nutshell. And so now I like to help other people. That it's okay, you're normal, you're okay, you don't need Ritalin, you just need to be an entrepreneur. So that's how I like to see it. I was actually given Ritalin when I was 7.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know, crazy, right? Actually, I used to throw it away and tell my mom I took it, and I would, like, throw it down the toilet. I took it, Mom. Yeah. So I always thought that it made me happier than other people, because everybody else was like, ooh, and I was, like, kind of jumping off the walls, and I didn't want to be like them. Isn't that horrible?
You know what? It explains a lot.
It does explain a lot, right? Now it's like something that's one of my assets, but back then it was like, no, sit down, don't do anything, be quiet.
Yeah, you know, we tell everybody to sit down and shut up, but realistically, you know, that doesn't get you anywhere.
It doesn't get you anywhere. I bet you when Donald Trump was 6 years old and 7 years old, they would have given him Ritalin too. But luckily they didn't have it back then, so
right. Well,
now he's amazing. He's self-promoter. So like, go Donald.
By the bottle load, they would have given it to him.
Right, exactly. They would have given the
So
now you would have Donald.
tell me this. How, you know, because I feel like this is going to be great information. I feel like there's so many of my listeners, especially the folks in the cheer world, who are so driven. How did you get first started in your business?
That's a great question. I want to kind of veer to the cheerleading side for a second. Do you mind?
Please.
Because when you told me that earlier, when you said a lot of your listeners are in the cheer world and fitness world, I have a kind of a background there and a heart centered for that, because I started in drill team and dance when I was a kid, and of course in drill team, and I'm from Texas. So if you understand what Texas drill team's like it's the bomb, right? We had the boots and we had to kick our feet up right to our nose, and if we didn't hit our nose, we couldn't be in game the next week. And Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders were our idols. Okay, so you get that world. I actually did try out for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Wow.
I did not make it, obviously, but understandably have an amazing amount of respect for that world, because they work their tail off. And then I don't think they get the respect, and they're very disciplined, especially the Cowboy cheerleaders. They're very disciplined individuals and women to be able to do what they do at that level. It's pretty powerful stuff. So I have an affinity for that. So how did I get started in entrepreneurship? I promise you, during my high school days of cheerleading and drill team, they weren't walking around going, you should be an entrepreneur, because, I was one of those ones that, of course, I'm not part of the debate team. I'm part of the cheerleading team, so it put me in like a stock of people, called that club. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really belong in that club. I just kind of was there in that club. And through the time of college, I kind of veered away and became myself. And I fell into sales and marketing and business. And through that is really kind of where I began to find who I really was and be able to speak and get out there. But how it really happened is I was in corporate America and I was doing really well. At the age of 24, 25, I actually became number one in sales for a big company called SBC Global. Back days, that's one of the Bell companies back in the day. And I did very well. Congratulations to me. But I didn't know what I was doing. It was like an accident. Does that make sense? I just had so much drive. I just like, argh, And so I was like, oh, look at that. I won. I don't know what I win, but I won something. And then they fired me. Like at the top of my game, they're like, okay, you're fired. And I'm like, I don't understand now. Wasn't this whole thing because of where they work hard and then they like congratulate you and give you a lot of money and they keep you around? Is that how that's supposed to work? But that didn't happen. They fired me. I was devastated, because I did really well. Like I really was number one in the entire country out of like 10,000 sales reps. And I had no clue. I didn't understand the politics of business necessarily at that point. So through that process, one day I saw an infomercial. I find this story funny because I really was down in the dumps, and I went to go visit my girlfriend who just got married, and I'm sitting on the couch with her now husband at the time, and he's like flipping the channel, right? He's doing whatever he's doing, and there's this infomercial, and it says, "Do you want to own your own business? Do you want to control your life?" And I'm like, "That's me." Don't change the channel. But I didn't want to tell him that. So I'm like, oh, da, 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 da. Like, they're telling you to write a phone number down, and they're coming to the seminar the next day at 1:00, and I'm like writing it down on this piece of paper on my hand or something, and I'm actually like, I didn't say that. So I'm writing it down. I totally lie and tell them that I'm leaving the next day, and I'm going back home, and I don't. I go to this seminar, and at this point, I'm actually out of work. I am officially out of work. And out of college. I just finished college and out of work. So it's a double doozy. And I go to this little seminar, and the guy's in the front of the room, and he's like, don't you want to own your life and own your business? And you can do this with this kind of business, kind of real estate investing thing, right? And I'm all over it, right? I'm like, yeah, this is it. You know, it's going to take my business away from me. And, of course, they gave you a discount for having a spouse. I'm not married. So I kind of nudged the guy next to me, like, hey, you want to be my spouse? He's like, sure. What's your name? I'm like, oh, he was Heather. Let's just go with it. He's like, all right. So we go to the back of the room, and I'm like, this is my spouse. And I knew the people in the back of the room were like, you are so full of it. But we were going to let you go with this. They knew it, too. They're like, yeah, that's your spouse. No ring, no nothing, right? The guy was probably 20 years older than me. I don't even know. I still don't know that guy to this day. I could probably walk faster, but I still don't know him. So I signed up with my spouse, and the next week they came to town. We had this 3-day seminar. Long story short, the back of the room people and the people that worked the room or, worked the business, they liked me. They're like, you're kind of fun. And they go, you want to travel with us? I'm like, yeah. So there we go. I moved off to Florida, and that's how I got into the direct response marketing world, where I traveled the country and I did these seminars where you would walk into a room and you had to create this whole presentation, and in 2.5 hours you had to, really have people say, yes, I want to do a seminar, and I'm going to give you $3,000 for that. So you learn the art of persuasion, know, like, and trust, self-promotion really quickly, because if not, you'll starve. So that's how I got into this business.
That's fabulous. It's
a fun story. I love that story. It's true, though. It's wherever my husband is, or that spouse guy, I don't know where he is. I think it's Jason, John, or Joe. I don't even know.
Some guy. What? Tell me about marketing, though. I mean, did you feel like this natural affinity towards it? I mean, what drew you to it?
It was natural for me. It was always natural for me to sales and marketing was always natural for me, but I never knew, because it was natural. And people can relate to this when it's like dancing's natural for them or martial arts is natural for them. If there's a natural ability to it, and then there's like, once you learn the actual science of it, or there's the techniques of it, or the actual strategies of it, it takes it to a whole nother level. But sometimes because you're natural at it, you don't want to learn all that, because you're like, I'm just good at it. And until you actually understand the principles and the strategy and the science behind marketing and sales, then you actually have power around it. Because up until that point, it kind of uses you versus you use it. So I began to actually understand the principles behind marketing, the principles behind self-promotion. There's like true principles of it. They're time-tested principles, no matter if it's 60s, 70s, with social media, without social media, it doesn't matter. It's a time-tested principles because it's human behavior. So once you understand that practice, and that's when I began to learn that practice when I started traveling the country. So that's how I began drawn to it. Because like I said, I was successful in corporate America in sales, but I didn't know why. They just threw a cell phone at me, a business card, and a Yellow Pages, and they said, go, you have a quota, and if you don't make it 3 months, you're fired. That was it. There was no training. There's no principles. It was just like, have fun. And I had to figure this thing out. So it was a numbers game. And then years later, I learned why I was successful at it and the natural things I was doing, but I didn't even know what I was doing. And then you can actually leverage those things because you can actually see the principles working. And that's the power of marketing and sales.
I have a really pointed question for you.
Sure.
I know that a lot of our folks, a lot of my listeners, and a lot of my clients, love doing the thing. They love being a coach, probably more than they love being an owner. But the self-promotion aspect, if you had, call it 3 minutes alone in a room with somebody who is probably a little bit timid or shy about self-promotion, what would you say to them to turn that around?
First thing I would say is normal. It's very normal to be resistant to self-promotion, especially when you're good at a thing. You know what I mean? Like you're good at something, a doctor is good at a thing, or a dancer is good at a thing. They feel that the thing, the skill of the thing, the mastery of that thing or skill should already promote oneself. And that's just not the case. This is not the truth of how we live. Okay, so good example, McDonald's is not the best hamburger ever, but it's the best self-promotion. And so therefore it wins in the game of numbers called, hamburgers. Donald Trump right now is really big in the world as we're doing this podcast. So again, another person, he might not be the best businessman in real estate, but he's a great self-promoter of it. And you may agree that he is good at politics or he's not. Doesn't matter. He's still the best self-promoter of. Okay, so you have to see it as the skill set of whatever the skill set you're promoting is one skill set, and then the other skill set is actual self-promotion. And having people be attracted to whatever you are selling, skill set, yourself, your coaching, your dance squad, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Martial arts is a big one. I know some people here that are in martial arts school, and they're very good at that thing called martial arts and teaching that thing. And they just kind of assume if they're good at it, people are just going to talk about it. And what they do, to a point, to leverage. But you have to really make sure that you go above and beyond.
What would you say is the first step if somebody wanted to, so I need to actually start with self-promotion.
Sure. So the first thing is to first distinguish that. Distinguish themselves versus the thing. And then, once they do that, they have to then attach themselves to that thing. And that the people buy people. Okay, we don't buy the skill, we buy people. We buy the things we know, like, and trust. Okay, so you have to really promote yourself and your business, whatever that is, as we're the best, we're good, we're awesome, and create the time-based principles, which is having other people say that you're great, the testimony. One, what is the attraction of your business is number two, meaning the copy. What are you saying? How are you saying it? Is the name fun and sexy? Is it something that people will be attracted to? Will they trust it? The colors, things are attracted to, but more importantly, put that face with it. Back in the day, I used to do acting class when I was a kid, and the name of the company was Star Makers. Basic name, right? But think about it. Every mom and dad wants their kid to be a star, right? And then they want to be a star. Star Makers. There you go. And the owner was Tina Caffio. And really, Tina had been around so long and she'd done this. She'd become creating apprentices and really had passed the art on to somebody else. But people wanted Tina. They wanted to pay, and they paid more for Tina to be coaching their child, right? So you want to put yourself out there as the one. And that you can teach other people your skill, and you'll have apprentices, but you want to be the one so that at some point people pay you triple the amount of money to have their kid, child, or person work with you specifically.
Got it.
Does that make sense? Is that
No, it does actually.
Tangible enough?
It most certainly is. Tell me this. I find that most successful folks tend to live by their own set of rules. So, what would you say your primary rules are?
I have them listed right here. There's a ton of them. I have not 10. I say 10. There's about 10. I look at them every day. And I kind of just choose one. I'll just choose one. And we can kind of talk about it if you want to.
Sure.
So, here's an interesting one. I'm exactly in my life where I want to be. I know that one's kind of no, I'm not, and actually you are. You are exactly where you want to be because you're there. And if you want to be somewhere else, or if you want to go somewhere else, or you want to take your life or business somewhere else, then you get to choose that and then take actions to go there, because then you'll be exactly where you want to be then. So basically it's like you put yourself there, That's kind of how I see it. And it's an ability to be responsible for all areas of your life.
I like that.
It's kind of one of those, I don't like that one, but I like that one, but I don't like that one.
Well, but that actually, those are always the best ones, right?
Yeah. The one that makes you really think. The other one that, actually during my bankruptcy, where I was kind of coming out of my bankruptcy, this one I used daily. I think during that time of, going through that financial crisis and kind of, a swirling was going around in my head daily. Like, what do I do? Kind of swirling around in my head. So this one was a good one, and I use it daily. Question is, does this feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? So, and little choices. There are times I was making tiny little choices, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, because I just had this. My confidence was shaken, on a core level, and I just was constantly in a swirl. So a mentor gave me that one, and he's like, well, does this feed your confusion or strengthen your clarity? And the moment you ask your brain that question on a decision, you know the answer.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can give yours, and you can give it all the, well, but, and this, but if you just put it to that one question, your brain will quickly tell you the answer.
Huh.
And the right decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What a great way. I'm just thinking, as far as staff meetings are concerned, what a great opportunity to really cut down on all the crap.
Yeah, all the drama. But, and then this, and then what if and then they say this, and especially and I'll speak to the cheer crowd again. I'm sure they have the students, and then they have the moms or the parents saying whatever they're saying. And sometimes they're in complete conflict, I'm sure, and sometimes they're in alignment. Sometimes, I guess, but really probably more conflict than alignment. And then you have the child, what they want. They're growing up and they're moving those decisions around in their head. It's a great question to ask all three parties.
Absolutely. Well,
it'll help.
Yeah, I would probably say on a weekly basis, I hear it 30 to 40 times from owners. I love this if I didn't have to deal with the parents. Yeah,
no, I get that.
Yeah. That's interesting. Now, here's one I'm just curious. How I'm a big fan of corporate structure, and in my experience, I've never seen your title before. So, how did you get the title and the name of Chief Sexy Boss?
Well, it's fun, isn't it?
It sure is.
It's not Chief Hellhole or something. I don't know. It's just, well, first of all, it was through, there's kind of a story behind it. There's, through my bankruptcy, like I told you, I was really successful, did all kinds of great stuff, and then I hit this, I just hit this place. And the next thing I know, it just shattered. And I filed bankruptcy, foreclosure, the whole thing. Boom. What do I do? Kind of lived on an island for a while, stared at the ocean, did that, wasn't sure. And then I actually came to Austin, kind of coming back home. I'm from Austin, Texas. I live in Austin. And through that time, I became really mentored under a guy named Joe Sugarman, who I love dearly. He's a copywriter and direct response marketer and a very successful businessman. And we were just talking one day, and he said, you're a sexy woman. You're sexy, but you're also this strong woman. He's like, you're kind of like, I don't know, like a sexy boss. Ta-da! And I was like, oh, really? I'm a sexy boss? I kind of like that. He's like, yeah, you're like a sexy boss. You're unique. And I went and looked online, and I grabbed it, of course, and then I did a trademark, and then Hugo Boss came after me. I was like, oh, what's that? I guess it's a good name. I don't know. So we now have the trademark for it. But yeah, I can't use it under certain things because of Hugo Boss. That's fine. But it is interesting because when you say the word, and I call myself Chief Sexy Boss because it's fun and I kind of like to own that. But my tagline with people is be you, be real, be sexy boss. Be the sexy boss of who you are. Like, own who you are. And that's really the term, because when we say the word sexy and we say the word boss, in today's terms in corporate world, they get all weird. You can't be both. You got to be one or the other. And you look at people today like Hillary. Again, I'm not a fan of Hillary. That's just personal opinion, okay? But she is not a sexy boss to me. She does not own her femininity. They're trying really hard right now to make her look that way. But come on, she wears a suit, the pantsuit. She looks all manly all the time. She doesn't own her femininity.
Right.
She's not elegant in any way. And I think Carly Fiorina, because again, I'm just talking big names here, because we're in that time of year. It's like she is a woman. She is a female. She owns that she is a woman. And so there's an elegancy of being able to own your femininity with also being the boss of your life and being the boss of business and being the boss of people. You can own that and have a balance to it. It doesn't have to be like all one or the other. And so I feel it's a way of being in the world.
I love it. I
hope that helps people. And I think women, especially if they're in the dance world, their job is to be pretty. pretty and thin and all these other things, you know, and then they have to be the boss, and then there's this like weirdness around it, and it shouldn't be that way.
No, there's definitely a dichotomy between, you know, your persona and, you know, what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is probably the best way I've heard it described.
It's a nice balance. It's being able to own your femininity and own your masculinity. And say on the man side, when a man can own both sides of himself, the masculinity and the femininity, and they have that balance, that yin yang, as we call it, and is kind of in his own skin, we call that charisma. Oh wow, he's very charismatic, right? Or he's very successful, charismatic. But when a woman like is successful, quote unquote, and is really bossy, we call that bitch. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's like weird, right? Why can't we call her charismatic? And that's fine. We get it. What's happening though is when you own both and you own that balance as a female, that's what's really attractive. Just that right now, that's not what's normal. And so women feel like they have to choose between one or the other. They feel like they can't have that balance.
Wow.
And so I think that the word sexy boss, it emulates that. But what I find interesting is that I've had, I get one or two reactions about it. I get like, oh my God, I love that. I love it. The name is different. Or I get like, how dare you? Like I get like one or the other. I never get like, oh, that's neutral, you know. So because it does spark something inside of ourselves. Like, well, you can't be both.
Well, the polarization aspect of that is brilliant.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I'd much rather have them go one way or the other versus just plain old vanilla.
Right. I agree. But men, we want men to be sexy, right? We want men to be charismatic and sexy and powerful and you know, we want all that because we find that hot in society.
Right.
But when females do that, it's like this weird, you can't or something. So.
Except you can.
But you can. No, you can. I now tell you can.
Well, and sometimes folks just need permission, right?
Yeah, I give you full permission to be a sexy boss. Men, too, can be sexy bosses, by the way. So.
Well, tell me this, because it's now time for our resource of the week.
Sure.
So tell me how my listeners can find out more about you and how you help entrepreneurs to succeed, because I got to tell you, you clearly got a ton of goodies.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I have goodies. That's good. Well, you can find more goodies if you'd like to at heatherhavenwood.com, just like it sounds. It's not Heavenwood. Of course I am, but Havenwood, actually. So Heather Havenwood and sexybossinc.com. Don't go to sexyboss.com. I tried to buy it at $75,000 and just don't go there, but they wanted $75,000. I'm like, that's hilarious. So I bought sexybossinc.com.
That does the job.
Yes, it does the job.
So tell me a little bit. So at heatherhavenwood.com. So again,
yeah.
HeatherHavenwood.com. What are they going to find there?
So what they're going to find there is it's all about me, self-promotion. Really about my business and my background. And right now my focus is working with entrepreneurs, small business owners that want to learn how to take their current client database, email list, and how to leverage that. So if you're interested in working with me specifically on your business and how to leverage your current clients, I'd love to talk to you about it, and you can go to work with me. So that's really what's there. I have an upcoming podcast, and a lot of my podcasts that I'm on is on that main site. The Sexy Boss Inc., though, is really geared towards women. It has my book there, talks about my book, and I also have, if you opt in, you get 3 chapters of my Audible book. So I'm one of the few authors that I did my own audio book on cool. Audible. Yeah, I do suggest all authors try that. It's really hard to do. It's not only write your book, but let's now do an Audible about it. So I did that, and I highly suggest you go check that out. You'll get a sample of of 3 chapters of the book. You're welcome to check that out. But it's really geared towards women and personal power. So sexybossinc.com.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, you can also find it on Amazon, but you can find it there.
But buy for you. Got it. I always like to end my podcast with one important question. So if you could give business owners just one solid piece of advice to either help their business or, more importantly, help them to live a better, more balanced life, what would that piece of advice be?
The number one thing I would say is your email list / your customer list is your biggest asset. And so to focus on your biggest asset and to grow your biggest asset and to keep it going. That's the key piece. I mean, I've heard of business owners who've been around 20 to 23 years and they don't have an email list.
Oof.
You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. And so really specifically with local businesses are huge. And if you're a dance, I know you said dance and cheerleading, you kind of have two customers. You have parents and the kids. And so I would suggest segmenting that list out. Same thing with martial arts or any kind of business that focuses on kids. Nowadays, kids have emails. It's no longer they actually have their own email account. So why not segment that list where you're sending information and tips to the kid, but you're also sending information and details of what's going on to the parents.
I love it. It's all about engagement, right?
Say again?
It's all about engagement.
It's all about engagement and making sure that you're in communication with them.
That is perfect.
Yeah, I hope that helps.
Absolutely. Heather, thank you so much for joining me today. Obviously, I know how busy you are, and the fact that you could share some wisdom and some fun with us today, I really appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. I hope it was powerful for you.
Most certainly. Folks, that is all the time we've got today. Thanks so much for tuning in to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. For more info about private coaching or to see if you'd benefit from one of my mastermind groups, visit me over at www.jasonmsilverman.com. I look forward to helping you achieve the success that you truly deserve. Until next time, let me leave you with this. Get out there and be the real deal. Set a goal, make a plan, work like hell towards it, and achieve the success that's waiting for you. Now's the time. Get out there and make it happen. Go get them. This has been Jason Silverman, and I hope you have a spectacular week.
You've been listening to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. To access the great resources mentioned in the show and for information on coaching and mastermind group opportunities with Jason, please visit jasonmsilverman.com.